Zambia's education crisis exposed. Is the UPND government failing students? Claims Makebi Zulu. Today, one of Zambia's most outspoken political voices has sounded an alarm many parents have feared for months. Makebi Zulu is claiming that the education sector under the UPND government is collapsing, and his message is sparking shockwaves across the country. Are schools really on the brink? Is this political exaggeration, or a warning Zambia cannot afford to ignore? From teacher shortages, to overwhelmed classrooms, to funding gaps nobody wants to talk about. What is actually happening behind the scenes of the UPND's education reforms? Stay with me, because what you're about to hear will shape how you think about Zambia's future, our children, and the leadership steering this nation. Good day, viewers. Welcome to another edition of InspirAfrica Official. I'm Nakash. I hope your week has been productive. Mine certainly has been eye-opening, to say the least. Today, we're diving into a story that's been making waves across Zambia's political landscape. A story that strikes at the very heart of our nation's future. Picture this: a country once hailed as a beacon of educational development in southern Africa. Universities rising from the ground. Training institutes dotting provinces from east to west. Young Zambians dreaming of futures built on accessible, quality education. But what happens when that vision stops? What happens when the construction cranes fall silent? When the blueprints gather dust? When the promise of a university in every province becomes a fading memory? Is Zambia's education sector truly collapsing, as claimed by Patriotic Front presidential aspirant Makebi Zulu? Or is this political theatrics designed to resurrect a party many Zambians voted out just 4 years ago? Has the UPND government abandoned the educational infrastructure dreams of an entire generation? Or have they simply shifted priorities in ways that don't involve ribbon-cutting ceremonies and foundation stones? When a lawyer who aspires to lead says the education sector deserves a rating of 1 out of 10, should we believe him? Or should we investigate the evidence ourselves? And perhaps most critically, in a nation where 40% of a child's potential is lost due to inadequate education and health, according to global development indicators, can we afford to play politics with our children's futures? The revelation came to light just hours ago when Makebi Zulu, a lawyer and aspiring presidential candidate for the Patriotic Front, published a scathing assessment of the UPND government's education record. Writing to what he called fellow Zambians, Zulu declared without hesitation, "Our education sector is collapsing." The statement, posted on November 18, 2025, arrives at a critical juncture in Zambian politics, just 9 months before the 2026 general elections. Zulu has positioned himself as a defender of the Patriotic Front's legacy, and education has become his weapon of choice. Let's establish the timeline. The Patriotic Front governed Zambia from 2011 to 2021 under Presidents Michael Sata and Edgar Lungu. During this period, the PF embarked on an ambitious university construction program. According to their records, they built or upgraded numerous institutions: Robert Kapasa Makase University in Chinzali, modernization projects at Mulungushi and Kwame Nkrumah universities, upgrades to Makuba University, expansion of Kalimbana University, and the construction of Levi Mwanawasa Medical University. They also constructed 9 trades training institutes across provinces including Kalabo, Sashik, Kafui, Lundatsi, Isoka, Mwinalunga, Mumbwa, Mwens, and Karoma, targeting rural areas to decentralize access to vocational education. In August 2021, the political landscape shifted dramatically. The UPND, led by Hakainde Hichilema, defeated the PF by over 1 million votes. Zambians voted for change amid concerns about debt distress, economic collapse, and governance issues under the previous administration. Since taking office, the UPND government has taken a different approach to education. Rather than launching new university construction projects, they've focused on what they call foundational issues. Introducing free education from primary to secondary level, reinstating student meal allowances that the PF had scrapped, abolishing registration fees, and expanding student loan allocations. But here's where the narrative splits. Zulu claims there has been no significant development of universities, colleges, or skills training facilities since the UPND took power. The UPND counters that they're completing abandoned PF projects while investing in educational access and quality rather than new infrastructure. The confrontation escalated when Zulu published his assessment, rating UPND's investment in higher education as 1 out of 10. This isn't just campaign rhetoric. It's a direct challenge to the government's entire educational philosophy. Let's hear directly from the key figures in their own words, because in matters this serious, we must let the evidence speak. Makebi Zulu's statement was unambiguous. He wrote, "Fellow Zambians, our education sector is collapsing. If we were to assess the United Party for National Development's investment in higher education since taking office, we would rate it 1 out of 10. He continued with specific claims about PF achievements. In all our 10 years in office, we built trades training institutes in the following locations: Kalabo, serving Sikongo, Kalabo, Matete, and Nalolo; Sashik, serving Sayoma, Shangambo, Mwandi, Sashik, Mulabizi, and Kazungula." The list went on, detailing 9 training institutes strategically placed to serve multiple districts. Then came the universities. We built Robert Kapasa Makase University in Chinzali. We modernized Mulungushi University and Kwame Nkrumah University in Kabwe. We upgraded Mukuba University in Kitwe. We constructed a new medical campus in Ndola. We expanded Kalimbana University in Chongwe. We built the Levi Mwanawasa Medical University in Lusaka, to name a few. His conclusion was direct. And so we urge you, fellow Zambians, do not lose hope. With your support, we shall reclaim the vision and restore Zambia's educational infrastructure development, which will ultimately culminate into our people accessing quality education. But the reaction from Zambians was swift and divided. One commenter on the Zambian Observer wrote, "At what cost and quality were these infrastructures elected? Tell the full story, sir, not half stories." Another responded more harshly, "But you failed to build FTJ University in Luapula. Instead, you embezzled all the money after putting a foundation stone. You failed to complete Paul Mashindo University in Chinzali. You withdrew the university students' meal allowances. You could not complete student hostels at CBU and other higher learning institutions." The criticism points to unfinished projects and financial mismanagement during the PF era, suggesting that not all the claimed achievements tell the complete story. On the other side, UPND supporters and media director Mark Simue have defended the government's record. In various statements, government officials have highlighted, according to a pro-UPND analysis published in September 2025, the government's education achievements include: his government introduced free education from primary to secondary level, reinstated meal allowances, abolished exploitative registration fees, expanded student loan allocations to more universities, and invested in school infrastructure. Minister of Technology and Science Felix Mutati, speaking at a graduation ceremony, declared the government's ambition: "We are committed to ensuring that a larger portion of the adult population is educated, as this is crucial to promoting literacy and developing the intellectual capital needed to address national challenges." The government has set a target to increase higher education enrollment from 7% to 15% by 2030. But perhaps the most revealing testimony comes from independent education analysts. Ronald Konda, writing about the 2023 Zambian education curriculum implementation, noted, "The free education policy introduced by the UPND government has increased enrollment, which have led to over-enrollment in some schools. This has a profound impact on the implementation of the new curriculum." He explained that overcrowding in classrooms remains a persistent issue in Zambia, creating challenges for the competency-based education approach the new curriculum requires. The government's education minister Douglas Hichilema admitted delays, announcing that schools will open on Monday, February 10, 2025, to allow the Ministry of Education and partners time to print and distribute the teaching and learning materials, and orient the teachers of the affected levels. So what's really happening here? Is Zambia's education sector collapsing? Or is this a case of competing visions clashing in an election year? The truth, as always, is more complex than either side admits. Let's start with what we know. According to the Higher Education Authority's official gazette from October 2024, Zambia currently has 160 registered higher education institutions, 19 public and 141 private. These include 10 public universities, 50 private universities, and numerous colleges and specialized training institutions. This data suggests a robust higher education ecosystem exists, but it doesn't tell us about quality, accessibility, or recent growth. International assessments paint a sobering picture. The World Bank's Human Capital Index estimates that a child born in Zambia will reach only 40% of their potential productivity due to gaps in education and health. This is below the average for both sub-Saharan Africa and lower-middle-income countries globally. UNESCO's education brief for Zambia notes persistent challenges in learning poverty, educational attainment, and systemic capacity. These are long-term issues that predate both the PF and UPND administrations. So when Makebi Zulu claims the sector is collapsing, he's seizing on real anxieties but perhaps overstating the case for political advantage. The sector isn't collapsing. It's struggling with chronic underinvestment and structural challenges that span decades. But the UPND's counter-narrative also deserves scrutiny. While introducing free education and reinstating meal allowances are commendable policies that increase access, critics argue these measures don't address the infrastructure deficit. Dr. Mwaba Mwaila, an economic analyst, praised the UPND's approach to project continuity, stating, "Continuity in development projects is essential for economic stability. Zambia cannot afford to discard half-finished infrastructure due to political transitions." Yet that raises the question, if the UPND is committed to completing PF projects, why hasn't construction resumed on Paul Mashindo University or FTJ University, projects that critics say were abandoned with only foundation stones laid? The government's response has been to prioritize what they see as more immediate needs. UPND supporters point out that the PF left behind massive debt, including becoming the first African country to default in November 2020. The UPND successfully restructured this debt in 2023, they argue, creating fiscal space but limiting resources for large capital projects. Beatrice Grillo, executive director of the Zambian Governance Foundation, offered a balanced view. While completing these projects is commendable, audits must be conducted to ensure value for money and prevent corruption. Her statement hints at the elephant in the room. Many PF-era construction projects were plagued by allegations of inflated costs, poor quality, and corruption. Some observers argue that pausing new university construction allows for proper assessment of what was actually completed and at what cost. The political implications are significant. Education is a visceral issue for Zambian families. Every parent who struggles to send their child to university or vocational school has a stake in this debate. Makebi Zulu is betting that voters will respond to the nostalgia of the PF's visible infrastructure projects, the ribbon cuttings and foundation stones that signaled government action, even if some projects never reached completion. The UPND is betting that voters will value access over infrastructure, that free education and meal allowances matter more than new university campuses, especially if those campuses might never be finished or might be built at inflated costs. Both strategies have merit and both have risks. Critics of Makebi Zulu point out the irony of his campaign. The Zambian Observer's editorial noted, "His challenge is convincing Zambia that Lungu's unfinished business is the future they want." The piece characterized his approach as coffin politics, referring to his close association with the deceased former president's legacy. But supporters see him as a defender of interrupted progress, someone willing to name what they perceive as the UPND's neglect of higher education infrastructure. The legal and procedural questions are also important. Under Zambian law, the Higher Education Authority regulates all institutions. Any new university or college requires proper registration, accreditation processes, and compliance with quality standards. Simply laying foundation stones without proper planning and funding leads to the white elephant projects that the Zambian landscape. What remains unresolved is whether Zambia needs more universities or better resourced existing ones. The country already has 60 universities, public and private. The challenge isn't quantity but quality. Inadequate laboratories, overcrowded classrooms, insufficient qualified lecturers, and limited research capacity. Ronald Konda's analysis of curriculum implementation challenges reveals the real crisis. Many schools in Zambia lack the necessary infrastructure, such as laboratories, libraries, and ICT facilities. Without these essential amenities, students cannot fully benefit from hands-on learning experiences. This is the deeper systemic concern that neither political party has fully addressed: the unglamorous work of ensuring existing institutions have the resources to deliver quality education. And that, viewers, is where we find ourselves. Two competing visions, two political narratives, and millions of Zambian students caught in between, hoping for a quality education regardless of which party governs. The evidence suggests that Makebi Zulu's claim of a collapsing education sector is an overstatement designed to resurrect PF's reputation ahead of 2026 elections. But it's equally clear that the UPND's approach, while addressing access issues, has not visibly advanced higher education infrastructure in ways Zambians can see and touch. Perhaps the real question isn't which administration built more universities, but which approach will produce more educated, skilled Zambians ready to compete in a globalized economy. As we head toward the 2026 elections, education will undoubtedly remain a battleground. Both parties will make promises. Both will claim their approach is superior. Our job, as informed citizens, is to look beyond the rhetoric, to ask for specifics, to demand accountability, to remember that every foundation stone laid must become a completed building. Every promise of free education must be backed by qualified teachers, adequate classrooms, and learning materials. Thank you for watching this edition of InspirAfrica Official. I'm Nakash, and I want to hear from you. What's your experience with Zambia's education system? Do you believe the sector is collapsing, or is this political exaggeration? Have you seen improvements under the UPND, or do you miss the PF's infrastructure approach? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Let's have a real conversation about the future of education in our country. I'll be back tomorrow with another story that matters to you, another investigation that cuts through the noise to bring you the truth. Until then, stay informed, stay engaged, and remember, education is the foundation of everything we hope to become as a nation. This is Nakash signing off. God bless you, and God bless Zambia.